And authorities in China are racing to contain COVID-19 outbreaks in two of its biggest cities. Beijing is mass testing, closing subway stations, locking down buildings where residents test positive, while parts of Shanghai have been under lockdown for more than a month. And just when it looked like things would return to normal, restrictions were tightened once again, even as new cases have fallen. Lucas Crouch is an American teacher who's been living under lockdown in Shanghai since April 1st, and he joins me live now for more on this. Lucas, hi. I know we last checked in with you about a month ago. That was just a week into this lockdown. What has it been like, and how have things changed since then?
Well, yeah, like you said, it was day 6 of what was originally supposed to be a 5-day lockdown. So now it's day 40. Things are mostly just the same. I mean, there's not very much traffic outside, and things are still completely locked down.
Now, some residents have reported having a hard time getting enough food and supplies during this lockdown. Have you experienced that, or do you know people who have? How are people dealing with that?
Yeah, things were pretty tough in the first week or so, but since then, actually, it's a lot easier to get supplies. Sometimes there's actually group buying going on right now that people are buying a bunch of things in groups and then sharing it with each other. So it's easier to get supplies, but it just takes a lot longer than it normally would.
Now, authorities have been taking people who test positive to quarantine centers, and in some cases even separating family members from one another. Have you or any of your friends had to isolate there?
Yeah, I know a couple people that have had to do that, and a coworker of mine had to go. She actually has a funny story. She tested positive and wasn't taken there for 16 days. It was 16 days after she tested positive, she was taken. And by that time, she was actually testing negative, but she still stayed there for 6 days at the quarantine center.
What explanation did they give for coming to get her 16 days later when she's already negative again?
Yeah, things are, I mean, it's difficult to manage an entire city of however many millions of people live here. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I agree.
Now, as you mentioned, this whole thing has dragged on a lot longer than expected. I know your wife, Sherry, is pregnant and due in just 15 days. One, has she been able to get the care that she needs? And two, are you worried about what happens if she goes into labor while under lockdown?
Yeah, we are worried now. Well, for a little while, we could walk around in our compounds for about 10 days, but there was a positive case in our building. And so that means that the whole building is closed down again for 10 days. And she actually had an appointment during those 10 days, right after the positive case. So we hopefully can get out tomorrow to take her there, but if she goes into labor, the situation is still very uncertain. It's just the two of us, and we don't own a car.
Have authorities given you any sort of an idea of what a plan would be if that happens? What options are available to you?
Yeah, I think that we could have to order an ambulance to get us, to take us to the hospital. But yeah, I mean, things are like, there's nothing is working outside and everything's still shut down. So we just have to rely on that, I think.
And Lucas, I know you're also an elementary school teacher there. How has this affected schools?
Things have been closed down since the beginning of March. I teach online now, but there isn't word of schools opening until the middle of July now, at the earliest, is what I've heard.
All right, Lucas Crouch in Shanghai, China. Lucas, we are thinking so much about you and Sherry, and all fingers crossed that all goes smoothly with the baby's arrival. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.